You think it's going to be straight out there?
Yeah, it's going to go right up.
And it's going to go up?
Yes.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's what rockets do.
80%.
80% chance it's going to go up. 20% chance it's going to go down.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to watch you on TV. How about that? She says there's an 80% chance that this thing's going to go up.
All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
DanGryder, probable cause. It is April 5, 2026. Sunday night, and good news. We've been quite a stretch without a general aviation fatal. I hope you like that introduction. I've kind of hung it all out there because now I've got to finish this thing off. If you like banjo, I'm going to attempt to take a couple of banjos and a guitar right here and copycat on top of Iron Horse, their rendition, their version of the Elton John song, Rocket Man. Now, Iron Horse is one of my favorite bands from Alabama. Ricky and the guys over there do a great job. In fact, they're going to be live for the first time in several years in Florence, Alabama, June 5. I think I might probably be over there for that. Check them out and check out the video. It's their rendition of the Elton John song, Rocket Man. And I had to do that because of the rocket launch this week. Now, for Artemis 2, we went down there, and we were there, so I'm going to make a fun banjo video with some of my footage and make my own Artemis 2 rocket video on top of Iron Man's rendition with me singing on top of it and playing. Will it work? I have no idea because I haven't done it yet, and it's late Sunday afternoon, and I still got to get this video shot. I'm doing this all on one take, and that's the best I got here. The good news is we are at 8.005 fatals per month. I'll put this graphic up on the screen here. We've had 8.004 fatals per month. It is day 95, and I know you're here for the title of this video because I am going to talk about the LaGuardia CRJ plane crash, the regional jet that hit the fire truck. I've been, for sure, very quiet on this because mostly I'm a GA guy. I have experience flying airliners into LaGuardia. I haven't made a video about this, and I want you to know that my video and all my videos in my channel is not monetized in any way. So I'm not really jumping on stuff to try to be the first out there to get a lot of views for the purpose of money because I don't make any money. Here's a screen grab of my revenue showing you I make zero. I have zero revenue. Now this particular video tonight will probably get monetized because of the Elton John and Iron Horse connection there. All that money goes to them, not me, and I hope you can appreciate that. Got a couple little things to talk about before we get started, but that's it for tonight. I'm really hanging it out here, promising you that I'm going to do a Bluegrass tune at the end of this thing, and I haven't even shot it yet. I did listen to the original. Elton John did it in the key of B flat, and then Iron Horse, they took it down. They did it in A major, which is fine. I have to replicate the Iron Horse version of it, so I'll also do it in A major, and I think all that'll be fine, but I haven't done it yet. When I get done shooting this and editing this, then I still got to pick up these instruments and go back and drop in some tracks on top of that. So if you don't want to hear banjo, don't just turn it off before you get to the end because I think it's probably going to be ugly. Anyway, it is Sunday night. You know the routine. Say hi, and I appreciate you guys checking in from all over the place. The goal is lowering the general aviation fatal accident rate, and we are doing that. I have some important information to give you concerning those rates. Some very, very good news on all of that stuff. We've got the DTSB graphic data that I'm going to show you, which is super powerful. It'll give you a really good snapshot of where we are, and we are doing good. We are doing really good. Tonight is Sunday night. It'll be 2 weeks on Tuesday. We've gone almost 2 weeks since our last general aviation fatal accident, which is where we lost Harvey down in Statesboro, Georgia, flying the airplane that hadn't been flown for a long time. He was from Kansas City, and we've already talked about that several times. But that's what we've got so far. We're sitting here at 25, and that's what we got for tonight. So I'm going to jump into this thing. Very different format here for tonight, and I'm really thinking twice about holding it out there, promising this Bluegrass tune at the end because I'm not positive I can pull it off, but I'm going to sure give it a try, and I appreciate you looking the other way as this comes off. It's Sunday night. Welcome.
McCoy was a complete nervous wreck, his second hijacking.
We will get to the LaGuardia thing closer towards the end here. This is going to be a very short video, but I am mostly interested in your opinion. I have some information that I don't think is out there yet. I don't think you've heard my angle on this thing. At least I haven't heard it anywhere else on the internet. So that's what the internet and YouTube is good for. I'm going to put it out there. You tell me in the comments what you think of my opinion, what truly caused the RJ fire truck crash at LaGuardia last week. Let me know. All right, I'm going to show you this video of 114 Kilo Juliet. It's a Rockwell Commander, which is a single-engine piston airplane flying along just a few days ago. And here's the video of him landing on a highway. Here's the video captured from somebody else in a car, and here he is coming down onto the highway. And now I'm going to cut to the news report of this thing. It made quite the splash up there. Fortunately, both the airplane and the pilot is okay. Here's the news report.
This dashcam video shared with CBS Philadelphia captures the terrifying moment a driver in Lehigh County witnessed a plane land in front of her car just after 9 a.m.
Weissenberg Township, I-78 eastbound, mile marker 45, for an air crash.
Moments later, emergency responders radioing in.
10-4 for a commuter plane that landed safely on I-78.
State police and multiple fire companies responded. Investigators say a 65-year-old pilot from Michigan was flying from New Jersey to Indiana with a passenger on board when he reported engine trouble mid-flight. Officials say he tried to reach a nearby airport, but instead had to land on the eastbound side of the highway. Luckily, there were no injuries.
My point here is if you look at this graphical detail, he lost the engine here, tried to turn around. This is the ADSB data. I'm spinning it around for you. Look at all the wide open places that he could have put this airplane. You're in danger landing on interstate. You can hit a car, you can kill children, you could hit a paint truck, you could do all kinds of things. Look at these signs sticking up here. These signs will rip your wings open and fuel will spill and spark and you have a huge fire. You could involve people. Landing on an interstate is a very, very dangerous thing. Only absolute last choice. I would take this thing off field where you're not going to hit anything. Go for the dirt. Dirt is soft. Do not take these things to the highways and roads. That's where we have the problem. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about real quick is our conference for next year, January 2027. The DTSB conference is once again going to be in Orlando. It's going to be January 8, 9, and 10 at the same place as last year. We've got all those details put together for those of you that want to attend, or if you want to attend again. The early birds, we're going to lock in the same exact rate, even though hotel and food and all our fees have gone up. We're going to lock in the exact same rate as last year for the early birds, which should be good. And I appreciate you guys paying attention. I'm going to have some detailed information for you on how to do that real soon. But that's 3 days. $1,195 is 3 days, includes 2 nights. That's your room and board and food and alcohol, entertainment, the conference, the speakers, the sessions, all of it for one complete package. It's all self-contained in a hotel. We did great last year. This year we've upped the attendance by about 20. This year we're going to be between 110 and 120 participants. We're going to cap out at 120, I believe, is the maximum room size there. And when it's full, it's full. We filled up and met our obligation last year, and that's all very good. I appreciate you thinking about that. Sun and Fun is coming up. Here's the schedule for Sun and Fun. I'll put it up on the screen here. I'm speaking 8 times. Here's the schedule, and I have a couple topics here. One of them is the general aviation data, which we're going to get to in just a second, but the other one has to do with going dark. This is privatization for your aircraft. This is so that you can fly around anonymous. You can't be tracked. You can't be billed. They can't figure out who owns your airplane, where you're based, all those kind of things. It's completely legal, and you're entitled to it. I have figured out how to do it. I've done it on my own aircraft. I've done it on other people's airplanes. It's working good. The results, so far I flew an airplane into Kissimmee, Florida, 2 different occasions, did touch and goes, low passes, drove across the ramps, drove across the FBO ramps. I did everything. I also took an airplane and went down to Mobile, Alabama. There's 3 airports in Mobile that are all Vector Plane Pass where you're supposed to get an invoice. So far, no invoice, not a word out of Vector Plane Pass. They probably saw me. They can't figure out who it is. They can't figure out where to send a bill, so it's all working good. If you would like to do the same thing, I can show you how to do that, but it's going to start with an Anonymous LLC. The Anonymous LLC is not required, but it's your very, very best, cheap, free step in the purpose of anonymity, getting yourself completely private on all this kind of stuff. See me down at Sun and Fun. Here's the schedule one more time on the screen. Where I'm going to be down there. I'll be down there Tuesday through Saturday. I'm speaking 8 times, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I look forward to seeing you there. All right, we're going to talk very quickly about the data AOPA has recently put out their data. They call it the Richard G. McSpadden Safety Report, which I find highly ironic. He's the guy that killed himself in an airplane producing a safety report with his name on it. I don't get it. But anyway, here it is. I'll put it on the screen. This is the general aviation accident rates 2016 through 2025. And if you notice, they call it the 2025 preliminary data, but for 2024, they say no data available. 2025, no data available. And at the bottom of this thing, look at these numbers here. The little numbers at the bottom are the fatal accidents per 100,000 hours flown. So this is the numbers that we're really paying attention to. This 0.89, 0.84, 0.76, 0.68, 0.65. Everybody always says, yes, we have less fatals per month, but we're flying less. Not true. We are not flying less. We're actually flying more. And I'm going to put this up on the screen here right now. This is the government data, and this is the spreadsheet. If you look inside this red line here, this top line tells you how many million flight hours that we've flown here. So in the year 2024, we flew 29,005 100,000 hours, which equates to 29.0 million flight hours. In 2023, we flew 28.5 million flight hours. In 2022, we flew 26.953. So we have the data for 2023 and 2024. We know how many hours we flew. Now here's the graphic I'll give you right here on the screen here. This is the graph that I built here to show you AOPA versus NTSB versus DTSB. You notice in 2025 and 2026, AOPA quits at 2023. They don't have any data for 24, 25, or 26. DTSB goes right on and keeps on going because we know how many planes we crashed and we know how many fatals we had. Here's the graph that we built compared to the AOPA graph. This is fatals per 100,000 hours flown by organization. So at the bottom, it shows you here that's AOPA, NTSB, and DTSB. We are definitely stepping it down. Remember this number at the top here? For years, this number hovered around 1.91, 1.0 fatals per 100,000 hours flown. That was our number, couldn't be changed. In 2019, that's when I started all this emphasis, and that's when YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all these boards started popping up where you could track accidents much quicker. Let's take a look at this now. This is that same graph, and in 7 years, we cut the rate in half. We went from 1.0 in 2025. DTSB says we're down below 0.5, and in 2026, we're down to 0.33 fatals per 100,000 flight hours flown. How do we know that? Is because I prorated the number of fatals that we've had so far in the first quarter, and I added an extra 500,000 flight hours per year and did the math to figure out where we were at. Now, keep in mind, that number is for 2026. It's only in the first quarter, so it's prorated for the year. Is that number going to go up? Yes, I'm sure it is as we approach the busy season and get busy. 2026 isn't over. That's just where it sits right now at the conclusion of the first quarter. So we've done very, very good. In the last 7 years, we have cut our general aviation fatal accident in half. Now, my main concern here is how come AOPA can't figure this out? We know how many hours we flew because the government gives us that number. All the way through 2024, they've given us that number. It's not hard to figure out 2025. 2025 is over. We know how many people died and how many airplanes we crashed. You know what I do when an airplane crashes? I have this thing called a pen. I write down the N number, the pilot, and I keep track meticulously, one at a time as they occur. It's not hard to know how many fatals we've had in 2025. How come AOPA can't pull out a pencil and figure out and keep track of how many fatals we've had? They don't even know how many we've had in 2024. Here's the graph of 2024. They don't know what the data is for 2024 or 2025. How could you be that far behind? I already know right up through the first quarter of 2026 how we did because I have the N number, the name of the pilot, where they were at, the lat long, their age, their pilot certificate. We already have all that, and it's not hard to get. I'm really concerned how come AOPA spends millions and millions of dollars having a safety report and naming the Richard G. McSpadden safety report when it's lagging that far behind. And if you look at the data on it, it's not even accurate. AOPA data doesn't even match NTSB data. But I digress. That's it on the data. Congratulations to all of us. I think we should keep on flying smart, Keep on being ready for the AQP scenarios. Fly with DMMS. That's defined minimum maneuvering speed. Know your VREF. Don't get slow in the pattern. Pay attention. Be ready to do a go-around. Know how to do a go-around. Be ready. AQP is the process of being ready, and we're going to talk a little bit about the rocket science of being ready and how the rocket people are ready here in just a minute. Now, let's go on to this LaGuardia thing. I'm going to take a 10-second break and organize my notes here. But the LaGuardia thing is very, very important. Most important, I want to know your opinion on what I'm about to say because I'm about to drop it here. Here we go. All right, there's a tape out there of the ATC guy saying, I messed up. Let's listen to that.
Yeah, I know I was here. I tried to reach out to my staff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier. I messed up.
Yes, he is saying he messed up. Now, did he mess up or did we mess up? Who messed up here? Several entities involved. You have the fire truck guys, the guys driving the fire truck. You have the pilots in the airplane. You have the air traffic controllers. You have the government, and you have airport manager. Here is a screen grab of what was actually said here. I'm going to let you listen to this first. Here's what was actually said.
Emergency vehicles calling on ground, or are you calling on tower?
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower.
Truck 1 and Company.
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower, requesting to cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, crossing 4 at Delta.
So the very first thing, ATC calls the fire truck. They're confused. Somebody called them, but they didn't know what frequency. Who's calling and on what frequency? So here's what ATC says. Emergency vehicles calling on ground, or are you calling on tower? They're wanting to know. Now, your airport rescue, firefighting, ARFF, they respond and they say, Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower. Now, that's actually backwards. What they should say is LaGuardia Tower, Truck 1 and Company. ATC responds and they say Truck 1 and Company. That's actually incorrect also. ATC should say Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower, go ahead. The fire guys respond and they say Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower, requesting to cross 4 at Delta. What they should say is LaGuardia Tower, Truck 1 and Company, requesting to cross 4 at Delta. See how they've got, it's very amateurish on the part of the fire guys. The ATC guys is not proper readback. Everything is loosey-goosey. It's not proper. That didn't cause the problem. I'm about to get to that. The last thing is Truck 1 and Company, cross 4 at Delta is what ATC says. They should say Truck 1, LaGuardia Tower, cross 4 at Delta, identifying themselves who they are. The response was Truck 1 and Company, crossing 4 at Delta. So here's the way it was, and here's the way it's supposed to be. Now, I built this graph here to explain the context here. What does it mean? Clear to land to a pilot means I'm authorized to land. To ATC, it means I authorize you to land. Let's take a look. Clear to cross. If ATC says clear to cross, to a pilot, that means I am authorized to cross, but I'm going to look both ways. Check left, check right, make sure everything's good. They said clear to cross. To ATC, that means I authorize you to cross, but look first. Yes, I'm authorizing you to cross the runway, but make sure you look first. Now, when ATC said cross 4 at Delta, to a pilot, that means I am authorized to cross 4 at Delta after looking. I have to look. That's an authorization to cross, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's clear. To ATC, that means I authorize you to cross at Delta after looking. To airport rescue and firefighting, that means go now. That is a direct order from FAA. Go. Cross 4 at Delta. Go. Cross 4. If you look at the one above that, clear to cross, in order for your firefighters, that means it is clear. The word clear to cross implies the word clear, that it's clear, that ATC has done your job for you. They've cleared it and they've assured you that it's clear. It is clear. No need to look. I trust them. A difference in mnemonics, phraseology here. The firefighters are in a different pay grade. They're your lower hourly worker bees. We have to have them, and they're very nice guys, and we appreciate our EMS and first responders and all that kind of thing. They're in a completely different world than ATC. ATC is your salaried guys up in the tower, and they are the FAA. When an FAA guy gets on the radio and said cross, That's a direct order to the firefighter. Who are they to question the ATC guy? He said to cross. He said cross. We better cross. We better get with it. Also, the fire truck, the positioning on taxiway Delta to cross 4 was 25 degrees off of being perpendicular. That meant that looking this way, he would have had to look an extra 25 degrees behind him to see the airplane. Yes, they're in a hurry. Probably the guy driving had no possible way to see the guy in the right seat of the fire truck. Did he check right? Did he turn around and really crane with all his gear on over his shoulder to look hard back to the right? It's an extra 25 degrees of turning your neck from the position that they were in. Do you see what I'm talking about here? It's the phraseology here. To a firefighter, clear to cross means you are cleared, that we've done the job for you, and it's clear, and you can trust us, it's clear. When they say cross 4, look at this. When they say cross 4 at Delta, that means go now. That's a direct order from FAA. Go. There's no need to look. And there's your difference here. It's a difference in philosophy. I think the problem here is that FAA, ATC, firefighters are not all on the same page on what these words mean and what your responsibilities are. Firefighters, your job is, even if FAA says to do it, you can't do it without visually looking and making sure it makes sense. The airplane landing would not have been able to see the lights on the fire truck due to the colors and positioning from the fire truck. If they had looked to the right, that airplane would have been lit up white as a Christmas tree, bright, blinding light looking at them in the face. It would have been very ominous. The landing lights are white. It's obvious an airplane is about to touch down when they started rolling. They never looked, and I think the good reason that they never looked is because ATC gave them a direct order, cross 4 at Delta, and they said, yes, sir, we're going across. Huge difference. Do you see what I'm talking about here? That is the difference in that. I want you to know that Jennifer Hamady wants to talk about having a transponder in the fire truck and keeping track with electronics. Here she is at a news conference talking about transponders in fire trucks.
So in this case, that vehicle did not have a transponder.
I don't think we need a transponder in the fire truck. I think we need to all get on the same page on what are the words and what do the words mean. That's all it is. The firefighters, when they tell you cross runway 4 at Delta, that doesn't mean do it. If I said jump off of a bridge, you still have the opportunity to look and decide whether you want to jump off the bridge. Just because Dan said go jump off of a bridge doesn't mean that you should go jump off of a bridge. You got to apply some common sense here. Check left, check right. You know, in the airline world, check left, check right is a part of our world. Before we cross anything, we're always pushing back, going forward, crossing a taxiway, crossing a runway. Check left, check right. Clear left, clear right. Everything good. Look hard out your right window. Make sure we're not pulling out in front of something. That never got done, and NTSB, asleep at the wheel, has never figured out this is a phraseology problem only. We don't need any transponders. We don't need any of that kind of stuff. We need to make sure your firefighters know what the words are. We need everybody to clean up your act on communication, standardize your communication, standardize the order that you do it, make sure everything is good, and make sure everybody knows what these words mean. And if they tell you to cross the runway, you do not cross the runway without looking out your window first and making very sure that you're not about to pull out in front of a landing airplane, because that's literally all that happened here. Did the guy mess up? Well, he kind of did, because he said cross 4, but I think he kind of assumed that they were going to take a look, and maybe after that airplane landed that they would cross 4. He gave them authorization to cross runway 4. He did not give them a direct order to hit the gas pedal and march across at that exact time. Does that make sense? I'd like to hear about what you think about that in the comments. That's really all it is. Sometimes the answers to these things are extremely simple, and this one to me is so dirt simple. You can hear it in the phraseology. You can see it in the way he read back his stuff. They're not reading it back right. They're not talking right. All the ATC communications is not proper. The entire thing needs a cleanup, and that's all it needs. All right. I got to get out of here and get this video up and on the air. I'm going to leave you with my banjo rendition here of this thing, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be ugly, but I'm going to attempt to do it anyway. For my tiny little itty bitty fledgling YouTube channel, Dan Gryder, probable cause.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
She packed my bags last night pre-flight. 0 hours, 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high as a kite by then.
All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
I miss the earth so much, I miss my wife. It's lonely out in space. Such a timeless flight. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. The touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. No, 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 no. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man. Burning out his fuse up heaven home. Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids. In fact, it's cold as ice. There's no one there to raise them if you did. And all the science I don't understand. It's just my job 5 days a week. Rocket man. Rocket man. It's gonna be a long, long time. The touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. No, 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 no. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man. Burning out his fuse up
I'll see you next week.